一下就放轻松，因为其实每位老师讲5分钟，后面我们会有一个 very brief Q&A for 2 minutes， 大概就是这样。所以就说其实我们就是很轻松的，大家互相交流 ，or any kind of experience of EMI， 所以大家就不要觉得压力太大。当然，很有可能还是会觉得压力很大，因为用一个不是我们自己的母语的语言来进行沟通，大概就是这样。所以今天下午应该是一个，我猜搞不好这整个任务当中，整个 program 当中最轻松的应该都是今天。就不管前面过程有多艰辛，我想大家上过这么多 EMI skill 的 program， 应该都理解。it should be a very difficult task。但是今天应该就是最轻松的时候，反正就是上完，然后把自己有过的经验跟要谈的东西跟大家讲一讲，应该就大概就是这样。所以非常欢迎各位老师们莅临。其实我自己是物理系老师，我自己也经历过一开始拿来EMI有什么困难呢？反正就以前中文怎么教，英文就怎么教，然后就来，结果成效一点都没有。没有任何成效。我还记得那时候我还在台大任教的时候，前面建中的跑来跟我讲说：“老师，你这样弄下去，我就死了。”我印象前就上完第1堂课，他就这样跟我讲。所以就后来也经过很多转折，慢慢的自己发现说，原来有可能怎么调整才有可能比较容易能够达到我们想要的目标。所以当然我自己有过这样的心情转折，所以实际上。我自己因为后来来到师大以后开始做师资培育，所以我自己当然有更多这样的需要来帮助学生理解 how to conduct a good or how to conduct a appropriate EMI course， 这些其实很重要。所以我大概就是有过这样的经验转折，所以我其实这样我都还敢上来跟大家聊，所以就是应该大家没什么问题，因为老实讲，我常常这样讲。在物理前面，学生都是很被动的，更不用讲说要用英文在跟他们讲物理，其实他们会更被动。所以我们就想办法 more engagement and more participation in the classroom， 可能就会效果好一点。所以其实老师在前面，大概就差不多按照这样做，那有可能就是一个非常非常好的 engagement， 大概就是这样。希望今天大家都能够有一个美好的经验，也都能够有很好的交流。所以我们大概再等一下，然后等下开始，每位老师5分钟，我们会有一个 brief Q&A 2分钟，就希望老师也都可以非常享受这样的过程。其实我都看过老师们的文件，所以大概那个大家的领域其实非常 diversity 非常大，所以但是有一个共同特征，就是大部分的老师几乎都还是跟 science or engineering 是比较有关系的。那可能其他的 section 他们都是比较人文社会比较多一点，所以我想这样其实这样的交流会比较有更多的意义，所以我猜主办单位才会刻意把大家排成这个 section。那其实这个东西会对大家来说，我想应该会有很多的经验交流上面的帮助。我讲这样，因为我们在一边做也会很需要很多同才的支持的，老实说是这样。关于 EMI 的确确实是一条辛苦的路，就是学生也不一定真的接受，老师上课的时候也很不一定那么容易从学生身上得到一些立即正向的回馈，的确不是真的很简单，但实际上也没有真的那么困难。当我自己一直不稳定的时候，后来就自己会想办法知道说，我应该去用哪些方法、哪些策略来帮助学生，怎么样应用更多的日常沟通，用少一点学术语言。来想办法让学生可以课堂参与多一点，最后他们终于还是可以在课堂当中上个物理课也可以上得非常开心。那就这样，我们期待今天下午大家都能够有很好的这样的经验交流。所以等一下我们上台顺序会完全按照这个时间顺序，所以就按照这样来，然后每位老师5分钟，最后Q&A2分钟，
最开始。 这是文文。
这个
是正常，好像
我们已经努力把它开了。对，我们已经努力把它开了。对。好，我们
还是开太低了，还20个。
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Chen Yu from School of Teacher Education and also the Department of Physics at National Taiwan University. And I am truly glad to be here to be the moderator this afternoon. Today we are here to talk about English medium instruction using English. In our classes, it might help our students to have a better experience about the globalized world or localized world, and also for the future study or for the future career. So I think it's important for the English learning. We have a fantastic lineup of speakers today, each ready to share your unique experience. After each presentation, there will be a brief Q&A session. So please feel free to ask any question and have a discussion with all the colleagues today. So your participation is valuable and helps all the colleagues who all learn from each other. Let's get started with our first speaker. Please join me in welcoming Professor Lin Lu.
Hello everyone, I'm Lu from Technical University of Science and Technology, and I belong to the Department of Public Finance and Taxation, where I teach freshmen in management and juniors in financial products. Today, I will be discussing the vital role of a course syllabus in EMI settings. In EMI courses, when the language of is different from students' first language, it becomes crucial to have well-designed course components that provide a clear structure for both instructors and students. Let's begin by understanding what the course syllabus is. Course syllabus is a comprehensive document that outlines the structure, expectations, and policies of a course. An effective course syllabus should include several key components. And let's look at an example from my management course. First, here is the course description, which provides an overview of the topics and the target audience. And secondly, it outlines the objectives. These objectives are stated using actionable verbs, such as define, analyze, identify, making sure that these objectives are observable and measurable. When it comes to the grading and assessment section, which provides students with a clear understanding of how their performance will be evaluated. For example, class participation is 15%. By stating the weightings of each component, students can allocate their time accordingly, promoting transparency and setting realistic expectations. And a course syllabus should also include required course material and class policy. These policies are to make sure students are aware of these class rules. And finally, a course syllabus should also include a course schedule that is filled with specific dates and topics. When it comes to implementing a course syllabus, I recommend taking time to introduce it to your students, point out the important parts, and stress the need to use it regularly. I hope today's presentation has highlighted the importance of a course syllabus and provided you with valuable insights for creating your own one. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So, insightful presentation. So, questions? Very short comment.
Can I ask a short question? Can you go back to the previous page?
Go back to
Yeah,
next
please.
page. Which one? Objectives?
The subject is
Management.
management, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interested in it because I also teach management. I want to know what kind of ice-breaking activity you use in your class. Can you give me one, just a small tip how to create an ice-breaking activity?
For the first week of the semester, I normally use Padlet as an icebreaking activity, and I ask students to break into groups and then write down their name, student ID number, and their interests on the Padlet as an icebreaking activity.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I cannot believe that for teachers of business school, this is concerned about ice breaking. Because as I take those courses, we have a lot of case studies, and then we will have a so-called cold call. If you do not read any text, it could be a cold call for me. Chanili, would you please try to answer? Or would you please try to comment? Wow, that's truly, maybe.
Frustrating.
Thank you. Okay, so more question? If not, so then I would thank Professor Lin again, and also we would like to invite the next speaker, Professor Tsai.
3亿官人。
I am part-time teacher from the Department of Business Administrator at 朝阳科大. Here is syllabus. This is an international class with students from various countries, including 印尼、印度、肯亚、蒙古、土耳其. Therefore, class must be conducted entirely in English. But my limit in practical, the term was mid-term and final exam involved Henderson computer-based operations in the computer lab with submissions upload to the learning system upon completion. participating in the project. I will have them discuss how to analyze the sample question, and then one of them will report the results to me. Thank you. Thank you. It's my report. Thank you.
It's a truly sexy program now. So, any question? I think it's a very interesting experience, especially for Professor Tai, including students from different nations, different cultural backgrounds, and just like an United Nations in our classroom. I think it should be a very interesting process. So, would you please try to give more experience for such kind of condition? If you encounter students from Indonesia or students from India, right? India, Indonesia.
印尼、印度、
Yes.
蒙古。
Okay.
印尼。most of the speak Chinese. 印尼。
Well, they should be Chinese.
蒙古 is not. 蒙古 is not Chinese.
So, since English is not their native language, and we have to, they have to be gathered in the classroom.
Actually, my portion is 中文资管。So SPSS 资料库分析is my professional. So in English teaching is not big problem.
Yes. So,
用我的专长，用英文讲资管分析的部分，其实没有什么大问题。就是看着简报解说的时候，中文就是这么讲。就是跟学生承认说我的听力不太好，所以他们会就是讲完我听不懂的时候，他们会用那个手机给我。我因为我在第一堂就承认说我的听力不好，我的小时候不好好学英文，我尽量用英文解说他们的问题我可以很自信的说，就是教他们跟沟通上面其实没有很大的问题。这个其实我也想要表明说，语言真的不是沟通的障碍。真的不是，因为整班对我就是很依依不舍，就是在星期二结束的时候，手机就一直在说我们会响应，他们会响应。
So you must do something right, not English. Some English is not important for your class. So that should be most important. Thank you. Thank you very much. Third speaker. President Bush.
Hi everyone, my name is Busan. I come from the University of Technology. I will introduce the IEMI lesson plan. My topic is to introduction to the biology. Students need to be able to qualify, like we do a certain event to describe and predict real-world problems with biology model. The teaching context, they are the 50 students in my class, and they did the E1 level English. And I face the practice difficulties to understanding. They know to understand the professional terminology and follow by impact of the cultural difference in the learning environment and this activity type of progress. The first, I will provide 5 professional terms related to the productivity to encourage them to use this compact dictionary to listen their pronunciation and then to practice pronouncing them with the partner while discussing each terms. And second, I designed mini lecture topic. First topic is to introduce the written experiments, sample space, and then the first interactive activity, I will have 2 parts. First part is the productivity game. I will organize games involving the drawing, the card drawing, and the coins list. Students report outcomes, calculate the actual probability, and compare them with the theoretical probability. The second, case study discussion. Choose the real life case involving the probability scenario, whether testing, disease testing, and whatever, and have a student analyze the application of probability in the case and discuss its impact. The second, I designed mini lecture topic to use probability. And then the second interactive activity, there are also 2 parts. First part is the risk assessment and simulation. Provide a scenario such as the investment decision or the insurance pricing. And students use the probability to assess the risk and propose a solution. And second, discuss on the misuse of probability and statistics, and we will involve the example of the misuse of probability and the statistics in the media or the public parts. The student discuss how to correctly interpret and use this information. And finally, we will use and to summarize. I will summarize the context and the lecture and answer the question based by the student. Finally, the assessment. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much. Questions? Probability should be very interesting mathematics. Especially for me, I think it's a very, actually we have a lot of case or authentic case for probability, but as we want to help our students to be engaged in the classroom, that should be truly a very difficult process. Yeah, so.
Yes, so we make placements and easy probability, so they know how to explain, how to know, understand what probability is.
Yes. So it's a little bit similar to love.
Maybe.
Before we start the class, we have to use the class. Because ask you to dice the roll, to do roll dice. It's a dice required to test the theory of probability. So, do you require that students use English while they're doing the interactive activities?
You say
While they're doing the in-class activities.
do you ask them to use English while they're in both cars or
Yes, I try all English. Do my best. They also do the best to engage in this class.
So mother tongue is also allowed for students. Mother tongue is also allowed. If they just speak Chinese, would be okay?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. That should be a very important part. Actually, for some purpose and for some teachers, they would like to train students' expression skill. So they would be asked, students would be asked to speak English. So no.
But you make a small group level, or in the active group itself will be better.
Of course, I know, and it could reduce students' anxiety, so it would help us a lot, where they cannot be engaged in the class. So thank you very much. Thank you. Then we would like to invite the fourth speaker, Charles Yu.
Okay, can you hear me? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessie. I'm sorry, Jessie from the English department, as you can see right here, at Shida, National Taiwan Open University. Before I start sharing, I have a few things I would like to share with you. The first thing is that, basically all the courses I have taught over the past 2 decades can be taken as EMI courses. So, back in late February, when I found this announcement about this online EMI course, I asked some of my colleagues whether they would want to participate in this online course. They told me that, no, that is not for us. That is for instructors of other field. We don't need to participate in this online course. Then, over the past 8 weeks, after I completed all the 8 modules online and also submitted all the requirements or the assignments required. I feel that I have still learned a lot, even if I have been teaching EMI courses over the past 20 years. So one thing I would like to say about this is that old dogs can still learn new tricks. Right? That's the first thing I would like to say. The second thing I would like to say is that, the first thing that I learned from the modules of this online EMI course is that, we teachers are supposed to give mini lectures, like a 20-minute lecture rather than long lectures. You see, teachers in the English departments, basically there are two types of courses we have to teach. The first type is what we call content courses. Alright, content courses, because I have a background in literature and cultural studies. So content courses may be courses about studies on popular culture and popular literature, that kind of thing. So usually for that courses, I would give longer lectures rather than mini lectures. So in the future, I would like to sort of see do some experiment. I would like to sort of try switch to mini lectures and see how that will go. And the second type of courses we teach is the so-called service courses. Service courses refer to language skill courses. So today's sharing, or this course plan that I created for today, basically this is for a language skill course. As you can see from the course title, it is English 3, Science and Technology. Right? Actually, I've never taught this course before. This is something totally new for me. Right? Because I don't have the background in science. So you can just imagine when I'm teaching a course like this, all the students, they actually have more knowledge, right, than I, because they are science students. They know more science than language, right? So what I would like to do do about this course is that I would actually invite students to teach me science and technology by using English, because this is an English language course. So students are supposed to sort of use English as much as they can. So I would just ask students to teach me science and technology in this type of course. This is something new for me. So and before I start sharing, I would like to sort of give credit to one of my colleagues. Oh, I have only 1 minute left, right? I would like to give credit to my colleague, Professor Evan Hobart, because before I created this lesson plan, I had a lot of discussion with him because he's very much experienced in offering this kind of courses to our science students. All right? So you can imagine that this is a diverse class because students might come from the Department of Mathematics or the Department of Physics and Chemistry and that kind of thing. So very briefly and very quickly, so I only have 1 minute left. So you can see that this is a lesson plan. Basically, this is for the second class meeting. And today, this class, the purpose of this class meeting is that I would like to sort of demonstrate to class, right? This is how you will teach your class, teach your classmates, and also for the instructor. Because I would like to learn something from my students. So this is actually a demonstration class. I would ask students to sort of create all sort of or make use of all sort of things they would like to bring to class in order to help the class understand what they would like to teach. So you see that for this course, I'm not going to use any textbook because this is a 1 semester course. Alright, so the first 2 class meetings, I will sort of choose an article like this. I would like to talk a little bit about emotion because this is related to psychology. This is probably the only type of science I can relate to. Alright, so I choose this for a particular reason. So basically students can feel free to choose any sort of science and technology related materials. Alright, so yes, the class will begin with a warm-up activity. Of course, I will ask students to talk a little bit about the emotions that they experience and what they would do when they feel happy, angry, sad, shocked, or surprised, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, I will go to the article and then I will go to some group discussion, trying to find out how they sort of react to this article that we just talked about. After that, I will give this class like 20 minutes to work on this big project that they have to work on for this 1 semester course. That is, they have to work in small groups. They have to conduct a scientific experiment. And when the midterm week comes, they have to sort of take turns sharing with the class the scientific experiment they have conducted. Right? So basically, this is what we will do for the second class meeting, because usually the first class meeting of a new semester will be orientation. All right. This is too ambitious, so I will stop here, because the second thing I would like to share with you is the presentation rubric. But if you are interested in this, you can actually find out a little more later. Okay. Thank you. Sorry that I had to rush through everything. Sorry.
English for special purpose should be very important, especially for mathematics today. So, I have no question. I think it's a very good demonstration for both of us. And also, everybody knows that for special purpose English should be very truly important for a teacher in science discipline. So, if you got more questions, then we can communicate with Professor Shah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, question.
I noticed that you first, when you started the class, you would present a list of vocabulary to the students.
No, not really. I mean, for the warm-up activity, I will not try to show them because that might be a little bit boring, right? So I will ask students, because I will basically share that article I've selected for that week, and I probably will put that on our Moodle, on the Moodle, because here at Shida we use Moodle. Right? So I will put that that there. Supposedly students will, have read the article before they come to class, but if they haven't read the article, that will be fine. So for the walk-up activity, even if they haven't even read the article, I will still ask them some basic questions about emotions, some basic types of emotion, human emotions that they experience. So that first they have to use English. So I would probably get to hear a few words like happy, sad, angry, and that sort of thing. And I would like to ask them why you would feel angry. So they would have to sort of describe a little bit, give us a specific situation where they feel angry. That is one thing. So that walk-up activity probably will take like 8 minutes time.
But just curious how you cope with these technical terms as to maybe encounter readings.
I mean, later on when we get to this discussion of the article, certainly I would prepare a PowerPoint file for introducing the article to the class. So some of the key terms and concepts, I will list them on the PowerPoint slides.
But you don't necessarily offer the explanation or definition of the technical.
I mean, if they have questions, I would ask students if they have questions about any of the new terms. I mean, some of the terms may be new to them, but probably they have actually already learned some of the word before. So maybe that's just something that I probably would do. Thank you.
Thank you. Class which should be a very issue. Okay, a different teacher have different strategy for such kind of problem. And then we would like to invite our fifth speaker, Professor Tang Guan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wang Tang from School of Nursing at長庚University. Today, I'm going to share my lesson plan with you. This is the lesson plan that I designed for fourth year medical student, and it is a 2-hour lesson on cancer truth story. 癌症病情告知。Because they are senior students, so my goal for them to be able to discuss the 4 important components of cancer truth theory based on shared model. And I want them to apply this knowledge in simulated patient scenario. Shared model is a theoretical framework that we use to guide cancer truth theory. And before class, I will assign a required reading and summarize the key term using a Wordle. And for class warm-up exercise, I will ask them to share their perception on this term. This will take about 15 minutes. Next, there will be a 15 minutes mini lecture introducing 4 important dimensions of cancer truth theory based on shared model. Before deliver the bad news, physicians need to set up a supportive environment and deliver the bad news based on cancer patients' preference. After that, physicians need to provide additional information such as treatment options and potential side effects. Most importantly, physicians need to provide reassurance and emotional support to cancer patients and their family members during the truth hearing process. Since interactive activity is crucial for EMI teaching, so I designed activity for them to watch 2 short videos, one showing inappropriate truth theory, the other appropriate truth theory. Students will discuss in group to identify correct and incorrect truth-telling behavior. And I will ask questions using cartoon to increase their learning motivation. Following that, we will have a second 15 minutes mini lecture on how to deliver bad news at different cancer stages, such as early diagnosis, metastasis, and the terminal stage. I will highlight common mistakes physicians make and also re-emphasize on the importance of share model. And for the second interactive activity, students will have opportunity to practice their truth-telling skill with simulated patients. Due to time constraint, only 2 students per group will practice with simulated patients. I will explain case scenario beforehand, and facilitator will provide constructive feedback for students to modify their behavior. Facilitator and simulated patient will evaluate students' truth-telling performance with the structured questionnaire, and this can be served as a formative assessment to improve my EMI teaching. To conclude, I will use a picture to emphasize again the importance of truth-telling and re-emphasize the key component of share model. This is the lesson plan I designed for my medical student on cancer truth-telling. Thank you for your attention.
I think it's a truly good strategy, especially for such kind of communication skill training. And actually for every discipline got their own academic language system. So I think it's truly a good way, especially everybody knows that problem-solving learning is originated from medical school. So it would be a very, very good skill and very good strategy for all faculties. So, question?
Dr. Kang, I'm not intending to ask any question. I just want to show my respect and appreciation to you because we have been in the same class for the whole semester, remember? And then this is the first time we met each other. And I always remember Dr. Kang studied so hard. And then that brought me back to the memory of being a student. You know, it has been like 20, 30, 14 years ago. So I just want to say thank you for being in the class and then motivate me to study harder. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my honor to be your classmate.
So more question?
So what's the context of this class? Because if your student, after your student graduate with college, they probably practice in Taiwan, not in other countries.
Yes.
So what's the purpose of having this kind of course in Myanmar? Are they going to have Asian in the context and they just speak Chinese English?
Oh, okay.
So I wonder about
Okay.
context and motivation of this
Yes.
BMI course because it's medical communication. It's about communication with the patients. We have to, especially we have to tell them that they've got cancer.
Because I'm from Changchun University, so our hospital is Changchun Memorial Hospital, which is a large medical chain in Taiwan. And we do have a lot of international students from other countries, Hong Kong, Canada, a lot of them. They need to pay on their own. So we have the chance to interact with international students. And actually for medical students, their English pretty good, a lot better than me. So it's easy to do EMI class for medical students.
Yes, welcome to doctors in Hong Kong, they have to speak Cantonese. Yeah. Okay. And then we would like to invite Professor Huang. It's just colleague of Mark. This is the program. Yes.
So first of all, I would like to send the ENI teaching classes such that I can know some basic spirit about how to teach in ENI. So I would say the most important thing I learned from ENI is that the most important thing we need to do is try to, it's not to say a perfect English. So the most important thing is that we need to transmit, we need to deliver our acknowledgement to students with English in a good way. So not just saying a perfect English. It's not the important thing in doing ENI classes. So especially since I am from the National Taiwan University, and basically all my colleagues told me that basically all our students cannot go to, I always say university from Harry Potter, the evil university, something like that, because all the students will go to that university. I don't want to say this name precisely, but I believe you know what I would like to say. So the reason why a student cannot go to that university because of the English, basically. So the math skill, the physical skill is actually quite good for our students. So the only skill they are not very good at it is just for the English. So therefore I would say, as I mentioned, for the ELI classes, we will need to deliver our message in English precisely, not just saying the perfect English. So first of all, so the class I would like to have is the so-called content computation and content information, which is a very pioneer classes, I would say. So actually, this is my first. This is my first year in our university, and this is the future classes I will have. So if I use this kind of opportunity to write down the ENI basic for the students, and as I mentioned, for our students, the most important thing is encourage them to speak in English and use English. So first of all, I will encourage them using my own experience. I will first tell them that actually my English skill is not super good in the very beginning. So in the sense that when I was a PhD student, there's a exchanging student program in our government, and I applied and then asked us that we must have some basic English exam, that is the TOEFL. And I will show my score to our students such that they can know. Initially, my English skills is very bad, but eventually I still be here and speak in English. So actually, I can tell you my score is just 500 in TOEFL, so it's super bad. And okay, so now I would like to share something important in my classes. So first of all, since this class is the content I would like to teach to our students is very new, so therefore basically all the information they can access must be written down in English. And also almost all the new idea, new technology, they share must be published in the English journal. So therefore the first important thing is that they must know some vocabularies in English. So this is very important. So the good thing for my teaching is that since this kind of technology is very popular recently, I would say, we know. I have this experience, I have this image background. So if I can show them some videos, for instance, there's some Marvel movie. They will use some kind of content stuff in their movie. So I will ask them to access those movies first and have some basic imagination about what is the content here. And then I will try to, once they have this kind of basic idea, then I will use some formal definition to tell them what those vocabularies means in mathematics, and also with some pictures. Since in the EMI teaching classes, I also know that picture itself is much more important than the word. So therefore, I need to show them some picture to help them to understand the meaning of those vocabularies. And also I will use some other platforms to teach our students. For instance, I can use some Python code and also some famous cloud content computer, such that the student can implement the content in my class. And also I have some assignments. So basically those assignments would ask the student to write some code and then they can run it in the IBM cloud computer, and then they can get their feedback. And also in the end of the class, as I mentioned, so this class is very new, so therefore there's lots of new stuff in the English journal. So I will ask them to present it in English, and of course if they are shy to speak in English, it's not fine, they can speak in Chinese. Okay, and also the only policy of my course, my course is just homework. I don't want to push my student advance, I would say. Okay? If they can finish the homework, I will appreciate it. So basically this is my talk, my experience, and thank you very much.
So, questions? Well, this point of this, quite too interesting for physicists, but not for all the students. So it could be a hard task to perform, to overcome such kind of problem. Actually, well, it could be a very good chance for students to be well trained, because they love quantum. So they have to study English. So it could be a very good chance for students to study foreign language and then trying to understand more cultures in the world. But they have to understand what's going on first. So questions? But actually, well, Professor Hu had mentioned that if students cannot speak English, Chinese would be allowed. That should be a truly important point, especially for EMI. EMI should be the abbreviation of English as a medium of instruction. So it tells us what English is but a kind of medium. We got a lot of medium to teach students. Why only English? So that should be the most important point for EMI. Yeah, so thank you. Thank Professor Gu for his presentation. Then we would like to invite Professor Wang.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Li Jinghua. I'm from Department of Information Management from長庚University. Actually, this is a proposed lesson plan of marketing management because I have teach this course in English. Actually, I teach this course in Chinese. So, I attended several EMI programs before, so I try to apply the concept and techniques of EMI into the course in Chinese. So actually, the lesson plan is what I usually do in my course, including the information management and marketing management. So this lesson plan is for the marketing strategy development. It is the most important topic in marketing management. And actually, I would like to fulfill the learning objectives. I expect that students could be identify the target market of company products, develop value proposition of these products, and then design the physical marketing tactics for this product based on the 550-70 modules in English. This model is the basic to develop the marketing strategy. Okay. This course expects to invite students. So it's usually around 30 to 40 students in my course. And I expect that they could have a B1 level of English. And the potential issue will be the pronunciation of the key terms, fluency of the discussion, and practical experience training in English. Because I think marketing management is a practical management, is a practical experience. So I usually to bring the physical example to the course, and I expect students could apply the concepts into the phenomena, and so they can develop a feasible plan to do the marketing strategy and tactics. Here in this course is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's a 3 credits course. So during this period, I divide the period to the 5 sessions, include warm-up and 3 mini tracks, and finally I will assign a group discussion to ask the students to do integrated model, and based on the model to develop a feasible marketing strategy. So in the beginning of the course, I will show them some famous products and ask the students to try to think about the target market and the value proposition, the product I would like to deliver to the customers, and maybe the price level. And before this course, maybe the students have no idea about what is the target market, but I will encourage them to try to answer the question based on their experience. And after that, I will give them a handout of a definition of the 15 key terms for these models, and I will explain the definition. And after that, I will use Zoom to let more understand the key terms of the definition, and based on the key term, and then they can try to understand this model and try to utilize this model. And actually, I usually arrange a discussion based on after the mini lectures. So I also utilize the Slido question to ask them to have a small task of group discussion. And because why I utilize the Slido, because it could be enter some text and show on the screen. So I think this is a good tools. And finally, I will assign a formative task and ask them to apply this model to the physical phenomena. And after that, they have to share their ideas in front of the students, and finalize, they have to upload their work onto Microsoft Teams. So the assessment will based on their presentation, their process of discussion, and the work they uploaded. And I also ask other students to ask their questions, and this is also include the assessment. So this is my lesson plan. Thanks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for questions. Okay, actually we got formative assessment, problem-based, and also focused conversation good way for students. So I think it could be a very good EMI course for students. Yeah, so questions?
Just a very simple question. What is the Rubio or Slido refer to? Are they refer to some sort of app or?
Yes, actually, Rubio have an app on the mobile phone or on the laptop, actually, and they have students could answer my question assigned on the Rubio, and I can get the real feedback from the app, so it is a good tool.
So actually I got another question. So for students' presentation, have you got any structure or any kind of pattern for game? Actually, as we know, for any discipline, we got our special purpose. So did you provide that for students firstly?
Actually, the assignment. Actually, I will have several questions, maybe from 1 to 3 questions, and this question could lead their discussion. And during the discussion, I will try to walk around the classroom, and if they have any question, I can answer them. So if I got any questions from some students, I will try to explain for all the students.
So the question parents just provide the structure for the answering and also for the presentation. Thank you. Some questions? If not, okay. Who would like to invite the next speaker, Professor Xie Ji.
From China Medical University and Department of Occupational Safety and Health. So in this department, every faculty with different research issues. And for example, we have the epidemiology or biology and environmental policy. And my research interesting is environmental engineering. So today I would like to share my lesson plan, and my course is environmental analysis of the environmental pollutant in the agriculture. So this course, the goal of this course is to enhance the students' chemistry knowledge, because our students in this department they are not good in the chemistry. So this course will like to enhance their chemistry. So as I mentioned before, this course is the chemical analysis of environmental pollutants, and the topic is the chemical analysis. So in the beginning, I would like to introduce. I would spend 10 minutes to introduce the. In this course, I will spend 10 minutes to introduce the various pollutants present in the environment. For example, the pharmaceuticals. So after I introduce for example, the pharmaceutical, and then I would like to share what kind of the technology can analyze the pharmaceutical. So after that, I will ask the student, in addition to pharmaceutical, what kinds of the pollutant also present in the aqueous environment, and what kinds of the technologies can analyze these pollutants. And after that, I will let the student form a small group, can discuss and answer my questions. And I also use the Slido. And I can use the Slido. cannot say that. Oh, yeah. I use that because we all know the student no response, no answer our question, even in the Mandarin. So I will use the title force them to answer my questions. So this is my strategy in this class. So after that, I will further introduce the mechanism and the principle of the technology for analysis from students. So this is my second part. And after that, I also let the student form a small group and answer my question. Also use the slide. So let's go my lesson plan. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah, so any question? So Professor Xie, you just mentioned about your students cannot use Chinese in your class.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your strategy for your students to reduce their anxiety or try to provide more support for your students? What would you do?
You mean use the English?
Yeah, if I got some support for them, like we just provide vocabulary or glossary on the blackboard for them. So if you cannot express, please use all these words where we can express by this way. So what would you do?
If I cannot use the words, I will also use the video to show them the mechanism of the technology. So if I cannot use by words or lectures, I will use the video or pictures to enhance the.
I think the question is about whether your course, this course, is an English-only course, right? The question is actually about that. Is this an English-only course? Or students will basically be allowed to use Chinese?
Yes, I will try my best to use the English, but if not, I will use the Mandarin. I also use the Mandarin, but I will decrease the Mandarin, use the Mandarin in this class. If I cannot use the English, I will use the Mandarin.
Okay, so Chinese is allowed.
Chinese is my
That's the choice.
The last choice, yes.
Oh no. Why? I mean, it's natural, right? And it's easier for you to use Chinese. So I think that you can try to sort of use code switching more freely.
I know. Because this is a principle and mechanism, if I use the Chinese, they also do not understand. So if I use a picture or video, they will, because it's a chemistry, so they will more can into this field.
Most of the videos you do actually conducted in English, right?
Yes. So that's
Yes. So video could be a kind of medium for instruction, just like English is but a medium for instruction. Yeah. So that's just the multimodality. Yeah. Some more questions? Okay. If not, let's thank Professor Xie. Then we'd like to invite Professor Li Hongxue.
Good afternoon. My name is Hongxue Li. I'm from長庚University in Taiwan, and I'm teaching the restaurant and hotel management. So today I will share the wine tasting class in EMI. However, I haven't teach this class in English before. I teach it in Chinese, just like Dr. Huang. So first, the class for the wine tasting class, we will have the testing part, and also we will have the theoretical knowledge of the wine of the world. Each of the students will have the wine tasting kit, which is the ISO Plus and the testing palette and the center palette. And also for interaction and the assignment, we will have our school online website. And also I use Vue for the in-class interaction. The Vue is an application, so the student can upload in their cell phone. So I can have the quick Q&A in the Vue, so the student can use their cell phone to answer me, just like the Dr. Shen said. They don't even answer if I speak Chinese. So let's do in silence. I ask them, they answer. And also, I will let them to do the palette. The palette is for their testing notes. So for the assignment, I will conduct five assignments for a semester. So first, the students have to develop their wine terminology glossary for their own, such as which means the color of the wine, the acid, sweet, and the body. And also for the second assignment, they have to choose their original wine profile presentation. And the presentation will put on the final week. Okay. For the third assignment, they have combined 3 and 4. Sorry, that's 4. From week 5 to week 15, we have 10 weeks for testing wines. So they have to choose at least 5 wines to do the testing notes on the palette, and also to do the wine and food pairing. So that's for the assignment 3 and 4. And finally, I don't even have the writing exam. I have the reflection paper for the students. So they have to summarize their learning experience of this course, and also how to apply this knowledge in the future. For example, in the class, we will have the serving process, how to open the wine, sparkling wine, and how to serve the wine. And also, we'll teach students how to communicate with customers if you want to recommend the wine for the customers. Okay, that's my wine tasting class syllabus. Thank you.
I think it's a very good quiz. Why? So actually my question is, then you have to conduct a project and also write a journal. So would you provide structure or any key terms for students
Yes.
to write it?
We will do I will teach the testing palette. The test palette will always on the website, so they can follow the template to write down their testing notes. From first maybe the color. So what color of this red wine is rubic or okay. So they have the palette. So they have the notes on the for each of the wine. So they can choose their favorite top 5 from the palette. They put notes each week on their palette. So they just need to collect the top 5, their favorite ones for this assignment.
So would you please provide sentence pattern for students?
Yes,
okay.
of course.
Okay, yeah, because for me, long time ago, I just provide my sentence pattern for my students. But now, I actually ask my students to use ChatGPT, to ask GPT to use some special purpose of sentence structure. Then they can have a good academic language expression. So it could be a good way to be utilized.
Yeah, because for the wine testing, we have the personal feeling about each wine. So maybe the acid, the sweet, or I like it or not. So all the assignment is for the person, not group. So ChatGPT maybe have the standard answers, but not for a wine. That's my opinion.
Yes. Actually, for my students, they know a lot of China. They cannot have a good language expression for such kind of tasty notes. Actually, they just say, 苦苦的. It's not the kind of expression.
We have the descriptors on the palette.
Yes. So they can choose that.
Yeah.
Try to become blind.
And we also collect from the first assignment from students.
Yes. Thank you. So more questions? Everybody's trumped. Oh, okay. So let's thank you. Professor Lee again. Then we would like to invite next speaker, Professor He Xixiu.
Alright, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is He. Everyone calls me Matt to make things easier because of the spelling. It makes it so that a lot of people say He. So just to make things easier, call me Matt. So I'm currently an assistant professor in environmental engineering at National Zhongxing University. However, although I am in environmental engineering, my main research interest is in occupational safety, fire safety, and also explosion safety. Okay, so I know that we have limited time today, so I'm just going to quickly go through what I have on the slides here. So if I know that a lot of people actually have like a course or kind of a lesson plan or a syllabus. So what I have here is a little bit different. So if you'll recall that for our final week, we were actually asked to provide something where we can actually promote EMI or actually see if we can provide something that will let more professors and more instructors know more about EMI. So in many of our science and engineering disciplines, students and professors alike are required to take lab safety training courses, and this is mandatory. I know it's mandatory because I was required to do it 6 months ago. So before they're allowed to do any of this lab work, you have to take this lab safety training, such as just your general occupational safety. If you're in EE or mechanical, you have your electrical and mechanical engineering safety courses, training courses that you have to take, and also for chemical labs, you have your chemical safety, right? So therefore, what I propose is that instead of just having these sessions in Chinese, we also strive to add these training courses in EMI as well, right? So what it is because Zhongxing only has about 2.5% of an international population, which is rather low, but we're trying to currently promote that to get it up to 5, 6, even 7 or 8%. So, however, a lot of these international students, if you're asking them to take these training courses in Chinese, it's going to be as if they didn't take this training course at all, right? Because they didn't understand what we were talking about. So what it is that I'm hoping that maybe in the future we can actually promote to hold these training courses at EMI so that we can also allow these international students to receive the proper safety training, right? And so what I would want is that we implore that professors who have international students in their labs also partake in this lab safety training so that they understand the proper nomenclature and have the correct terms in their mind when they're trying to communicate with their students. Okay, and then for the final part, so I'm just going to focus on the training format here. So because we also want to promote EMI to these professors while we're doing this, right? So what it is that the format, what we're going to try to do is follow a traditional mandatory training course for lab safety, but with interactive elements, included that we generally use for EMI. So an example is that, when we're doing these lab safety training courses, what we do is we say, okay, here's a photo. This is bad because you don't have the safe separation distances. Your chemicals are going to mix together. You're going to have an explosion, right? So instead of that, instead of giving you the answer, what I propose is that we have discussion portions. Remember those breakout groups of 4 or 5 people that we have in EMI. So what I would like is that we have those breakout groups, have them discuss, and then have them present their findings on what they think is unsafe for a particular situation, right? So towards the end, basically, most of these training sessions have about 20 people. Each of these, what I propose is each of these groups have about 4 people, and then we have about 5 total groups. And everyone can present their findings for a different photo or different video. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much it for my presentation, and the floor is now open for questions.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important especially for any PI with the lab safety. And so, we can question. How would you conduct your training format following Bloom's taxonomy? Actually, I don't understand. So would you please mention more about that?
Well, I do think we try to do, those mini lectures, and then, one example that I would like to do when I'm doing my my fire safety course is that, okay, we have, fire triangle, with a fire, you need oxygen, fuel, and heat. So it's kind of a similar concept where I try to just have them do those breakout groups. Okay, we have a certain way a method, like, use water to put out a fire. Okay, out of this fire triangle, which of these are we removing, and we would like to have them do this discussion. I don't know if this really fits into the Bloom's taxonomy, criteria. However, this is the way that I think that I'm trying to conduct these discussions.
So another question is, actually you just mentioned about this high percentage of foreign students or international students. How can you conduct differentiation in your class? I think it actually should be truly difficult for students, especially for domestic students.
Well, actually, with my classes, my particular field, a lot of people actually, regardless of if they're domestic or if they're international, they all tend to have the same questions per se. So I tend to try to slow down and elaborate questions regardless. So it's less of a, and also because it is fire. So when I'm trying to explain certain concepts, the easiest thing is to show a video, right? Same thing, right? When I was a professor, Ken mentioned, EMI is only English as a medium of instruction, but we also have videos, photos, and different types of medium that we can actually use to promote certain concepts.
Thank you. So more questions? Okay, let's thank Professor He. Then we would like to invite Professor Jiang to come.
I want to thank my teaching center for offering me such a good opportunity to improve my teaching skills. And although I was an special education teacher in elementary school before, I still learned a lot of different teaching methods from this EMI course. Today I'm sharing with you maybe few my syllabus. But this syllabus, it originally was Chinese version. But after this EMI course, I translated it in the English version, and some structure was original from my Chinese version, but few was integrate some suggestions from the EMI course. So the first key point I want to share with you is from this EMI course, I'm clearly understanding the structure and component of the syllabus. My EMI course provides more clear guidance on the essential components of including the course objects and the description, learning object, and also the grading criteria, and also the concrete class plans. And also from NTNU EMI course, I also learned how to structure a syllabus logically, ensure that all necessary information include how to present clearly to my students. And the second key point was application of EMI principles in my syllabus design. This EMI course also emphasized the importance of use clear and briefly language suitable for students who are not the non-native English speaker as me. And this is also including simplifying complex terminology, also provides some simple vocabulary for them. And I also apply this principle to design my syllables that allow students to follow in my course structures and also expectation regardless of their English levels. So the third key point I want to share with you is as a part of this course, I think most of us are engaged in the online learning, and we have some group activity online, so we can share our syllabus draft in this EMI platform. So I also received some constructive feedback from other classmates, maybe one of you. So such kinds of collaborative approach help me to refine my syllabus and based on your perspective or your suggestion. But and also the NTNU EMI course provide me my learning processing, so I can go back to review my learning process in the platform. Also, we can have some mutual learning on the online platform. It's a very good way for us to learning from all of you. So I think this is the key points I want to share with you from the EMI course I learned and apply in my syllabus. But also, but even I think I can refine or revise my syllabus more better. But when students see my whole English syllabus, they just get more anxiety and just kind of more refuse to take this course, because when they saw such whole English writing syllabus, they probably will have some opinions, think they don't have such good English level to take this. So after this, probably I will also have some parallel version in Chinese and also combine with the English version for them to before they take the course. Okay, this is my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the course is research on disability.
Yeah, reading disability.
Thank you. Wow, it's not very easy, especially for social science. Yeah, and I got so. Have you got any question? I got first question about how did you conduct your actually directives and questions for your classroom discussion?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you. Because each week we have each reading materials, and this reading materials they have to do 1-page A4 summary before they enter this course. So I will ask them to write to check how many terminology you don't know, so you have to check the definition before you enter this class. And also to highlight or choose some important sentence in the second part of the abstract in this demo page. And the next part is you have to ask one question when you read this material. So I just discussed this question.
Thank you. I think it's a very important, actually important arrangement for EMI course, and also it's truly a kind of formative assessment for students. It could help us to make sure that when our students are engaged in our class, that's really important because English is not our native language. So thank you again. Thank you. Then we would like to invite Professor Fu Zhaomei.
Good afternoon. I hope you're very tired now, so I'll keep it short for you.
This is a course that I offered for the last 2 years, so this is the second time I offered the introduction. The previous video in Chinese, Taiwanese literature. And the composition of the students are quite various in terms of, because this is a class offered in the Department of Chinese Second Language. And we have a program for international students and a program for Chinese students, Taiwanese students. So basically, half of my students are international students and half of my students are Taiwanese students. But I think that those benefits from this course because for the international students, they get to know the history and the culture in practicing Taiwan. And for Taiwanese students, get to interact with international students in English. Especially, I have international students from the United States, from France, from Malaysia, from Indonesia, and also from Taiwan. So you can imagine how many accents of English we have in the classroom. So here, I told this student at the beginning of the class that we all speak in some kinds of English accents, including myself. So what we need to practice is to always in English in different accents. Yeah, it's hard for them, especially for Taiwanese students, because they're more used to the American accent, but they will encounter still a certain Malaysia and foreign accents. Even the students from the United States, they are students from Europe. Themselves and these active accents. Yeah, so try not to I know it's not working so basically, I have native speakers in my class, like 4 or 5 of them. The total number of students is 26 this semester, and like 13 of the students are Taiwanese students in the Department of Chinese Second Language, and international student exchange students as well. So basically, I try not to speak too much in the class. I like to have the students speak in the class because this is a literature class. So what I need to make sure is that they understand what's going on, what happened in the text, and to present their own understanding or interpretation of the text, and share the comments and their interpretation with other students. And sometimes they can have kind of arguments with they have different ideas or interpretation of the text themselves. So objectives, they are able to, of course, to comprehend, to understand what happened in the text, and they're able to summarize. And if they need to present and understand the historical background that's related to the literary pieces, and the things that the writers are trying to articulate or relate to the novels. Alright, so basically my lesson plan is like this for every class, but I will add some variation to my every class so that it doesn't appear the same all the times. Alright, so usually it's a 5-minute warm-up and video to, so it's a warm-up, basically warm-up is introduction on the author. So some slides to picture and the video and program information. I'll speak like 10 to 15 minutes. Alright. And then, so like, most of the time I can find interview in English for the student to watch. And then for the first time I'll just play the video for the student to watch it. But before I play the second time, I will present some questions. So they will pay attention to those main ideas of what we get. So basically that's factual question or question that may help them to catch the main points in the video that I want to relate to the text later we'll talk about. So, and when we go to the main part of the class is to go over the text. So I put the text in the Moodle before class. So I didn't say if you need to read or not before class, but basically you should read it before class. But of course, if we all know as professors, you can come to class without doing anything. So that's what I put in class. And in the beginning, I have a larger group, I have 4 or 5 students in one group. But toward the end, I have 3 student environment. I'll tell you why I do this as a change for the class. So what we did in the group discussion is that I would assign, if I have 8 groups, then I would divide the chapters into 8 parts. And each group would cover one part of the text. And what I need to do is come up with 2 questions regarding what happened in the part assigned to them. And one open-ended question regarding what happened to the text. Okay, that's what they need to work out in the group discussion. And of course, they have to come up with their own answers as well. The answer they all agree upon. And then when they all done, all for a Google document. The benefits of offering a Google document is that they can type a question so that the other groups can see what are the question being asked. And then the second point is that by using Google documents, if they have typo, if they have grammar mistake, Google actually can correct it. Not to correct it, to remind them that there are some mistakes in their sentences. Then in the beginning of the class, I asked them to pay attention to the reminders. If there's underline in blue, it means that you have typo or grammar mistake in your sentence. You need to correct it when you're student group discussion. And so once you're done with the question, I would ask the other group to answer the question so that if question from one group will always have another group to answer them. It's a second round of group discussion. And once they're all done, then it's a group presentation. For a group presentation, each group come up to the stage and I would assign them role for each member to do. So like they have got to cover the plot summary. And one person has to answer question 1, question 2. That's a closed-ended question about the text. And another person has to cover the open-ended question. So that everyone has to come to the stage and they have to document offered on the screen. So if for students who are not so confident about speaking Chinese, they can just read on the text. Read on the type the sentence, the type of the text. At least they read it. Okay? And for those who are more articulate, more fluent language, they can choose to third row. The one who has to do the opening question. Because it's often the case that what they have in mind when they design a question is different from the answer they got from the other group. Then I will ask them to have argument. Why are you different and do you agree with each other? There will be a little bit argument, but that's good. And I always encourage them to that. And I will ask questions. Alright, so that's a good presentation. And then you integrate that part into a third question. Like late into the semester, I asked the third question to be designed according to text notice summary. So you have to ask rather than to analyze, to compare, or to whatever, according to the turn, the higher order thinking skill that they get to. That's in the basic summary. So that way, the open-ended question can be more structured or more challenging for the student. They have to really think about it. So all in all, in the beginning, I did not set any structure for the student for the presentation, but later part, the second half of the semester, I asked them to be to do this. You have to add, and when you present your point, you have to offer the textual evidence of what happened in the text, pointing out where the text is, and summarize the context, etc., so that they can speak more. So usually, so that's the way I work it out in the class, that through the group discussion, the whole class in English. Yeah, so actually at the end, they always come to me and ask questions about the assignment in English too. Yeah, and so that's the first part of the class. If we still have time, then I will review this class to have a more general summary about the class of each group to discuss and tell us what you think is the theme of the text we read, and you've got to support your argument with textual evidence too. Okay, that's the format of my class. So thank you so much.
Well, a lot of teaching models are realized by Professor Tu. The arrangement of cycles, focused conversation, student engagement, yes, and also in addition to communication, everybody knows that language stands for identity, especially for culture. So that's really important and very interesting course design. So any question?
Question. One more question. So, in terms of the readings, is it originally in Chinese or is it originally English? So it's a translated version. Okay. So, did you run into any issues with the international students because Chinese and English might both be second languages? So would they struggle with both? Because it is Taiwanese literature originally. So they probably want to try to understand the original, meaning in Chinese, and they're also trying to communicate in English.
Just stick with the English version.
Oh.
So usually they have to tackle with English. They have to tackle with the English text already.
Oh.
So the problem about the Chinese text did not come up at all.
Okay. So basically,
it also takes time for the Chinese student to read the English text, and most of them do not read much of Taiwanese literature. So it's new to them too. So we just stick to the text I offered in class.
So thank you very much. Then we would like to invite Professor Li Youci.
Thank you, Professor Chen, and good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Elise Lee, and I'm in the chemistry department of NTNU. So today I would like to share some of the rubrics I have implemented in my previous class. So for this assignment, I was designing this for a course I'm planning to teach, which is called the Special Topics in Chemical Bonding. But the rubrics actually I have used before in previous oral assignments. And of course I taught that's called English for Science and Technology. So that course wasn't a real EMI course. So but students learned a lot about the English writing and presentations and reading journal articles and such. And at the end of the class, I asked each student to give a brief oral presentation on a scientific concept. So just for like 10 minutes. And I asked them to have only probably 3 to 5 slides, very simple slides, and to talk about a specific concept such as the ones very familiar with thermodynamics. And for those, it's very easy for students to find the definitions and introductions, maybe just from Wikipedia, and they can basically, when the students were not familiar with the language itself, it was very helpful for them to actually memorize the text, the written text, and to say it out loud. And in that process, that was very helpful already. So, for that oral, and these were the rubrics I set up for grading, and also for them to know what the targets and goals they should ask themselves to achieve. So I separate them into 3 different parts. For the first part is language expression. So this is more about the language or the English proficiency level they try to motivate themselves to achieve. So, and they're divided into 3 levels. So for the expert level, so if the students can present entirely and in very complete sentences, and they can use very clear and correct pronunciation, and by correct pronunciation, I mean that they are using the correct, they are saying with the correct vowels and accents, and well, not accents, well, in intonation, I mean. So the accents, so for example, if the students have a Taiwanese accent, that doesn't matter at all. I think accents is one of the most charming things in English. Well, I love Indian accents. So but I'm very, I pay a lot of attention on the correct pronunciation when they say it. And when the students do the presentation, they should try to present in good flow without observed interruptions. So if the students cannot achieve exactly this level, then they might go into proficient level. So basically they can express themselves primarily in complete sentences, but sometimes they have to pause to think a little, and sometimes they make minor mistakes, and that's totally fine. But if they are very lack of preparation, they might be doing the presentation in fragmental phrases with a lot of pauses, and it's very difficult to understand because you don't catch because they're not saying the words correctly, right? So the language part is for this level, and then for the content, this are probably more about the logic than it concerns with whether the slides are clear with a strong logic flow, so you know that why exactly the second slide is following the first one, and the third is following the second one. And then, for the medium case, the slides may look like roughly linked together, but the focus is not very clear. And for the novice level, the slides, it's probably very difficult for the audience to follow the slide because they don't really know what's going on. And then there's another point I put a lot of emphasis, which is the interaction with the audience. Because for a good presentation, you need to interact a lot with the audience. So, actually, I have made it specific that all the students, when they're doing this presentation, I said that you have to make people ask questions. Right? You must get at least 2 questions. I'm not going to do this to myself, though. So, if the presenter can create ample opportunities to interact with the audience, then that's excellent. And then, in some occasions, you catch the audience and you listen back on and off, and that's okay. But if the presenter just talks along and no one is listening, then that's really very sorry. Right? Okay, so these are the rubrics, and actually I also tell my students very specifically. And there's one more thing that I did in my class is that in order to increase the participation from the peers, classmates, I actually asked all the peer classmates to do the grading to the presenter according to this rubric. But I also said that I wish everyone would give each other more constructive and encouraging comments. So, and because everyone needs a lot of support in the course of learning or taking in courses. Okay? So I think this would be my report for today. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank Professor Lee. And also, just providing a topic for students could be a very good guideline, especially for students. So, have you got any question? got one question. So, did you provide any content structure for students, such as IMRD or other kinds of structure for students to try to present the results for the presentation?
Well, for this one, because it was a very short presentation, I said that they just need like 3 to 5 slides. So this one wasn't, well, I didn't really do an example for them. But in other classes, when students had to do longer ones, like in the second half courses for 40 minutes, usually I would point out specifically the good examples and the places you need to improve during the classes. So I think the students learn from the peers very much. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. So, actually, according to my experience, I just provide a very short structure for my student. Firstly, just trying to put facts. Following that, we have concepts. Then just want to debate something or have a very short discussion. So it could be a very short structure for our students. So,
thank you.
Thank you. So, more questions? Okay, if not, let's thank Professor Lee again. Then we would like to invite Professor 教315.
Hello. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I'm Su-Ping from National Jiayi University. And actually, I teach in the Department of Foreign Languages. This course I want to design for the general course. For the student, they are not majoring in English. So it's a big challenge for me. But actually, I hope that I can implement this course in next semester. Yeah, I haven't implemented that before. So this course is for 2 hours lesson plan. And topics I want to teach is phonetics. It's teach students how sounds are produced or articulated. So I will focus on the consonant and the vowel, English consonant and vowels. And so the student, there are I designed 2 objectives. One is that student have to phonetic description that have to identify the symbol. Okay, and reversely, they also connect the symbol and to give the phonetic description. So these are the 2 objectives. And the 2 objectives will be checked by the activity, the interactive activity in the course. So I just introduce the context, maybe around 50 students. They are not good at English, they are not majoring English. So maybe I think they have a problem. First one is the reading material. They have a problem in reading the textbook or written in English. In particular, there's a lot of terminology about phonetics. So they have some struggle for this word. Just for I list here. Segment, super segment, consonant vowel. I think they have some difficulty. In addition, the students are not good at English, so I'm good at listening. So when I speak English, they might not all comprehend all what I say. So this is maybe a problem. And in addition, as we know, the Asian students are not to interact, so I ask a question, no response. Actually, so this new word, I have to say, is very difficult. Even though I translate into Chinese, no use. Since the Chinese is also very difficult for them. So I would encourage students, they can check the glossary in the back of the material, reading textbook, and they can look the definition. And there are some of the examples provided, so they can understand what is the word means. Or if they want to check the Wikipedia, that's fine. Okay, so I give the whole word, in the semester. So in the whole word, they can do the checking, double check whether they understand or not. So this is I don't teach I don't have time to teach the vocabulary. I have to say, they need to check the glossary on their own. So the same must be EMI course. Give us. There are 4 sections. One is the warm-up section. And the second one is a mini lecture and the interactive activity and the summary for review. The same. I will give the warm-up, talking about what is IPA, and I will give them some video to trigger or elicit their interest about what is phonetics and what we should learn the IPA. And the mini lecture, since the 2 hours last course, so I divided it into 2 big sections. And the first one will be 20 minutes mini lecture, and 15 minutes about the activity. Just some here mentions I will use the Slido to do the interactive response. So student, I will ask the question like, what is the voice bilateral stop? There are 4 selections, so they need to give a response. I will know how much they understand. And then this is for individual response. And the second activity is group discussion. I will give them a worksheet. Actually, I know this is a worksheet. This is a group discussion, and the student needs to write down all the answer place articulation, manual articulation. They need to write down, and then they can discuss or check the book. That's fine. And at the end, I will take it back to see how much they understand. So this is the first hour, and the first hour is talking about the consonant, and the second hour is a similar procedure that I introduced above. So the same lecture, the same activity, the Slido activity, and the group discussion. And then finally, I will give a review, a chart for review, and then also give a video to do the wrapping and ends. And all the assessment, including the response from Slido and the worksheets, I will give them the immediate answer for them to check whether they right or not. And but they are told they are not evaluated. They are not part of including the grading system. So they are not feel anxious that they need to get a correct answer. So I think that's all for my presentation.
Oh, that's really cool. It's very difficult task to perform.
This is you have to identify the articulation place with for example, is a palatal and velar or velar is it's very difficult. And the vowel different feature.
Yes.
But they can check the textbook from the chart. They can easily identify the place and the manner.
Yes.
It's not difficult.
Of course, just providing worksheet for students that could be, that could be a little bit easier for students to, when they try to complete all these tables, it could help them to understand what teachers are talking about. It could be a kind of multiple reality.
In addition, I think I hope students write down instead of just typing. Doing the writing maybe can improve and memorize the words. So maybe even a teacher needs to print out in advance. This is might be for the teacher to do that. At the beginning of the course.
Yes, if I were the student, it could be a smart way. I think I can practice more by this one. Okay, so, any question?
For a course like this, do you think you would ask your students to pronounce a particular vowel or consonant class so that they get to experience what's going on inside of their head?
Most of the time, I would, for example, like the voice sound, you can feel that in your neck, there's some vibration. So I will teach them when they pronounce okay, we need to have a vibrant here, but no vibrant here. So yeah, some of the word I think, but there's on the internet there are some charts. You can click on the level, you can produce the sound. So even though we don't produce or practice all the sound, and of course this is not English oral practice courses in phonetics one. So I just give some hint and then they can do it on their own at home. Yeah.
About the worksheet. About the worksheet, do you have the student complete the worksheet in groups or individually?
No, it's a good discussion. So maybe some students they don't catch what I say, but some students. Okay. So I think it's on ours that when we want a good cooperation, we put some of the students they are smarter or more concentrated on the class, and some students maybe so maybe they can cooperate. Not all the students.
What about the answer key? Do you just provide them the answer key and the sheet to the student, or?
I will put on the PowerPoint, and then when they finish, I will give the answer and then just check. I don't know whether I haven't implemented. I don't know if there is any problem, but I think I can check whether if I announce the answer immediately or after the class, which one is I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know whether, but based on my experience in each major student, they are good at this part. They can use the textbook to check the answer. I don't think it's a problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, time is up, right? Everybody's tired, okay? I thought I chose the wrong topic to present because I found a lot of professors in English department. So today I'm going to present how to give students some reading and vocabulary tips. So I found I chose the wrong topic. I think maybe some of you can give me some advice. So anyway, I'm Xin Guowang. I come from National Technical University, which is located in Kinmen Dashi. Okay, in this presentation, I'm going to present 3 parts. So the first part is introduction to students to use reading and vocabulary to learn their I course. Normally I will tell students welcome to financial management because my major is in financial management. I'm a professor in the Department of Business Administration. So normally I will give students welcome to financial management. I'm your teacher for this course, and my name is Guowang. You also can call me Andy. And also because a student from different kinds of area or reason to choose this financial management course in English. So normally I will encourage you to, because it's quite difficult to learn financial management in Mandarin. Okay, so I will address 2 main benefits to choose this course. The first one is we know nowadays in the financial management field, most firms are going abroad to market. So that will increase the importance of English capability. So being able to use the English professions in this business field become an advantage. So the second benefit to choose this course is most publication or research paper or information use English as the primary language. So if you can develop your English reading capability, I think that will give you the less information. So the financial market get the news information could be the key to better decisions. So I'm confident that all of you can learn a lot from this course if we try hard together. So the third part is I give some strategy for students to improve their course-related vocabulary and reading. So for the second part, I just focus on strategy. The first strategy is contextual learning, and the second one is use a dictionary. Third one is always take a note. Maybe the second one or third one is a little bit old school. I think that's, for me, I think that's very useful. And the fourth one is Rome is not built in a day. And the final part is vocabulary use. I think that I want to mention the first part. First part is when you find some new words which you don't understand, don't panic. Try to read through the whole paragraph. That will help you grab the meanings. And the second one is use dictionary. Maybe by right now for students, I think they already get familiar with the English dictionary app. So I think most of our students they will use dictionary app to Google the meanings of the English. And the third part is always take a note. I find this part is quite important because it's a powerful tool to maintain vocabulary, write down new words, their meanings, and sample sentence. And the fourth one is develop a good habit of reviewing the new words. So I think that you have to recite new words aloud, write them down, and release them regularly. I think that will be fourth number. The fifth one is vocabulary in use. Because my major is not in English. My major is in finance or investment related. So language, I think, for me, is a little bit difficult. So I always encourage students, language is just a tool to communicate. So you can apply new words actively and use them in sentence, conversation, or writing. I think the more you practice, the more great they become. So the third part is I also give students some strategies. The first one is to make a routine to read, and the second one is to use the public resource. Third one is from a reading group with your classmate. And fourth one is use fresh car. Fresh car is also, for my opinion, I think that's old school. But I think that's quite useful. Okay, so I always tell students if you haven't used this tool before, you can try to invest in the fresh car, copy the new words on the top and review them regularly. And the last one is break up the whole chapter into small sections. Because most of financial articles, they are quite long. Not just the theoretical hypothesis, also has a statistics. So I think that's quite difficult. So I always encourage students to break out the whole article into a small section. I think that would be easier for students to read. And the last one is developing a good and habit takes time. So be patient, and I believe we can improve our reading ability after some time. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Fresh cards are also a useful tool for me. So thank you very much. So question?
Next question, just a very quick feedback. I think you didn't really pick up one part. That actually, what you have brought up is very useful. Because I think learning both. I for an EMI course and also for a course on a specific topic, course for the learning of the ideas and also vocabulary terms. So, it's the foundation that is very important. I just want to briefly share my experience, right? For my literature class, I would ask students to to work in small groups. So each week, right, each group will have to create a learning vocabulary worksheet, and I will place that worksheet on our course board so the class will share that vocabulary worksheet. The worksheet basically will cover some of the new terms and difficult words in the assigned text. So the class can share that. I also encourage students to keep a study journal. So thank you for bringing out the points.
Thank you, Professor. You are so kind to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next we would like to invite Professor Yan Yufeng.
Can you hear me well? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm the last one. I hope I won't be the next. Okay, I try not to be. Okay. Today, I heard so many presentations today, and I'm the last. And I just want to share something different from telling all of you how I think about how I prepare my. I'm going to prepare my teaching plan for the future. Firstly, I would like to show my appreciation to National Taiwan University for hosting this wonderful program, because that reminds me lifelong learning is important. And then secondly, I would like to show my appreciation to my other classmates here, because in this semester I will describe myself as a candle burning from both sides. Because I have to do the usual teaching, I have a administration job to do. I think most of you feeling the same, and then we have to spend nights to meet together, remember? And then, that is stressful. It was a stressful semester to me. But I'm so happy to have so many classmates running with me on the track. And then remind me to keep on working. It's almost the last module, right? And then the third one is that I want to talk about myself. Currently, I'm a business teacher at National University. And the working atmosphere or working environment has changed a lot since 6 years ago, because we have so many international students joining our university. That's why it triggered me this idea that I should join some kind of professional teaching program that will enhance my teaching ability. And then so the second part, I will talk about the rationale behind why I want to join EMI, since I have been teaching at the university for 26 years in Mandarin. 26, yes, that's right. And then, firstly, I want to say that joining this program will remind me not to stay in the comfort zone, because I have been professor at the university. As you know, working in national university means that you are running or you are walking by yourself without seeing any companions at all, only your students. So I need to use this opportunity well to walk out of the comfort zone. And then from this program, I also learned so many skills that I can use to communicate well with the young generation. For example, we are very creative, but if we use the old school method to talk with students, sometimes they just cannot be bothered to pay attention. So I think this course comes in very good use. And then, by the way, I teach management, I teach marketing, also organizational behavior. Okay. And then, so learning the new skills will help me better communicate with the new students nowadays, especially these groups of students after COVID-19. They get used to study by using the app.
Okay, and then also we have so many foreign students. For example, they are from Philippines, they are from Malaysia, they're from Indonesia, you name it, everywhere. And then so I really want our Taiwanese students to engage more with them. Imagine that they come so far away from different backgrounds. If I don't design the class to encourage engagement, all the international students will feel like they are lonely, they are isolated. So that is one of my rationale to do that. And then a well-designed plan will earn students respect. And because they see the efforts that we put into teaching, and also that will give the logical and fair measurement to all the students. And then last, I will use this as the wrap-up of my presentation. I will see the EMI course as my guideline to review how I design my course. And also that is a transition process for Taiwanese students as well as for international students. By using this EMI well-designed course, they can meet each other in the class and work all together. For example, we have the group project, we have the group presentation, and all the Taiwanese students are forced to team up with international students. So they meet new friends from other countries. And also for our international students, they learn to love Taiwan more. Thank you. That is my presentation.
Thank you very much. So I think it's a very good ending for the process.
I tried to boost a little bit.
So any question or any feedback?
Yes.
Do you use any movie strategy to
Yeah.
culture communication?
Yes, I do. For business subjects, it is like Dr. Wang just mentioned. It's not only talk about theory. You need to use the new method to encourage students to really learn more. For example, if you pay attention to some business articles or reports, recently people care about MBTI a lot, right? And then so we will have MBTI survey in the class. And we all know that people care about themselves first. So when we do self-evaluation survey, they pay attention. But the evaluation is all in English. So you need to either study hard for the survey or you ask your neighbor. In our class, in my class, I have 50 students altogether, and then it's about 15 international students in my class. So it's easy to team up Taiwanese students with foreign students. And also I have debates in the class. For example, I just draw out one topic. If they feel like, oh, I feel so sleepy, I just don't feel like to go to the class, it's easy. I split the class into two halves. For example, I will give them a topic. What do you think about abortion? Agree or disagree? And then we have Muslim students. We have Catholic students. And the debate just goes on like more. Yeah, but after that, they know each other even better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank all the presenters today.